All right, hey, what's up, guys? So, today I'm going to be talking about the difference between fascism and communism, and it's because I think oftentimes it can get. Well, so I'll explain why in a minute why that has happened, but I just want to kind of break down some of these systems of government and to kind of break it up and why the communism, socialism, fascism, right? They're people confuse them, and they're not the same thing. And so let's first start it off. We're going to go with communism, right? All right, so let's just start with the definition of communism, right? So we're going to flip over here real quick, all right? So, all right. So what do you got here, right? So it is a political economic ideology whose goal is the creation of a communist society, a socio-economic order centered on common ownership of the means of production, distribution, and exchange that allocates products in society based on need, right? A communist society entails the absence of private property and social classes, and ultimately money and the state. Communism is a part of a broader socialist movement, right? Okay, so they often seek a voluntary state of self-governance, but disagree on the means to this end. There are many variants of communism, such as anarchist communism, Marxist school of thought, including Leninism offshoots. Right. So back here, right? Communism, socialism, right? And then, so socialism is an economic and political philosophy encompassing diverse economic and social systems characterized by social ownership of the means of production as opposed to private ownership. That's the thing, is it's more of a social, right? It describes the economic and political and social theories and movements associated with the implementation of such systems. Social ownership can take various forms, including public, community, collective, cooperative, and employee. As one of the main ideologies on the political spectrum, socialism is a standard left-wing ideology. They're divided into non-market and market forms. Non-market socialism seeks to eliminate the perceived inefficiencies, irrationalities, unpredictability, and crises that socialists traditionally associate with capital accumulation. Market socialism retains the use of monetary prices, factor markets, and sometimes the profit motive as a political force. Right. I'm gonna stop right there. So they're very similar things. Originated in the revolutionary movements in the mid to late 18th century, right? Socialism, yep. So Soviet Union, anyways. So it's spread out, and for the most part, capitalism is not viewed very highly, right? Social ownership can take, right? So let's just go back to what I was saying. So, social ownership, right? So let's just look at this real quick. Asset is recognized to be in the possession of a society as a whole, right? That's the key. Society as a whole. That's kind of what it's really trying to go for. And so I'm going to leave that there for now, because I really want to get to. So you talk about one of the most known fascists is Benito Mussolini, but also it's Adolf Hitler. So here's the thing, right? And why I'm bringing this up is just so people don't get confused, because, right? And I'm going to pull up real quick to explain why I think people get confused, right? And it's because of people like Adolf Hitler, which I mean, I think in modern times people understand, right? But fascism is characterized by dictatorial leadership, centralized autocracy, and militarism, forcible suppression of opposition, and belief in a natural social hierarchy, subordination of individual with natural social hierarchy, which is this guy right here, the Aryan. Right, you can take a look at this, but we're going to push right to Adolf Hitler, right? So, Nazi Party, okay? And then I'm going to close this video out, okay? So, look. Nazi Party, right? So, National Socialist Germans Workers' Party, okay? And I want you to read the National Socialist... I'm not going to try to say it in German, but that's what it's translated out to, right? Hitler wasn't a socialist. He was a dictator. He hated Jews, right? He didn't like Jews. And he wanted control and power, and that's what he did, and he killed a lot of people to get it, okay? They pushed themselves as a National Socialist Workers' Party, right? So he hijacked that and then turned it into a dictatorship. And that's why people get confused. Because he pretended like it was, but he had no intention of it, right? And he, from what I remember, he was pushing hard against communists in Russia. Which I don't... Sometimes people say things and they're not being truthful. And that is the case here. And So I drew all this stuff out, and I know... I'm going to have to cut some stuff up because I didn't flip. So this is what I had drawn in the meantime. Okay? So it's just... Look, the whole point is this, right? This doesn't equal, right, each other. Because society as a whole, ownership, right, that's really what socialism is about. And you can argue that it doesn't work, and that's fine. But the point is that these don't equal each other. And I can draw it over and over again, but it's true, right? And Hitler was not a socialist. He was not. He used it, the National Socialist Workers' Party, German Workers' Party, but he was not. Anyway, so that's going to be it for this video, guys. Please, thank you for watching. Comment what you thought of this video, and subscribe. I'll see y'all later.